I'm at NRF 2017 and speaking with Marc Janssens, the head of retail at Fujitsu America Inc. How are you today?
I'm fine, thanks.
Thank you for taking the time to talk to me. So, Marc, what are the things that Fujitsu helps retailers with specifically? Some product lines or capabilities that you can talk about?
Okay. If I take the current landscape of what we do for retailer today in America, we provide software, provide hardware, provide device like self-checkout, hardware POS, and software to run in the grocery store and non-food. Non-food being department store, specialty store, etc. That's what we provide today. What we are announcing here and what we are releasing, it's about 12, 13 solutions that actually are moving forward toward the future. If you go back to the history, as an example, in the grocery world, there is not one major vendor that has released a total solution for the grocery industry in more than 25 years. Fujitsu has released a brand new one. And the big difference is that we're releasing not only the software to run the store, but it's also integrated to everything you can imagine in the store, ranging from self-checkout, kiosk, handling the daily, the Starbucks that may be in the grocery store, and so on and so forth. What we're also introducing is a lot of retail analytics. To Wi-Fi from phones, so we can categorize how many people are in one area, where are your employees, and so on.
So that's like logistics in the store?
It's more analytics and understand what your customer and your people are doing in the store. So I'll give you an example. If you're a grocery store, I'll take a grocery store as an example. Cars are all over the place in the parking lot, and you have a couple employees that you know are supposed to pick them up. Where are they? You can find immediately in real time. One's taking a break in a cigarette, and the other one is a break room. What the hell's going on? So you take action for that is for your own labor, but you can do it also for customer because it's immediate feedback, and it gives you a heat map, so you can realize suddenly. Have a problem in checkout is way too red, meaning there's 20 people in the line. I need to open more cash registers, provide more help. That's one. Then you also take real analytics based on that, and you can improve your labor scheduling and so on and so forth. That's also a system that we provided. So where Fujitsu is going, we are moving more and more towards software investment, kind of leaving the hardware a little bit behind. And we're focusing on all our software to run in the cloud, on-premise, or private cloud. All our software to run store, being grocery or non-grocery, will be available in the cloud or in the store, whatever the retailer selected.
But the package, the solution that you provide to the retailers includes the software, the hardware.
That's correct.
But they can also use the software with other type of hardware?
Totally, hardware
so you're hardware agnostic, okay.
Totally hardware agnostic. So our software can run on NCR hardware, Toshiba Tech hardware, whatever. We don't care.
Okay.
The other thing that by releasing this grocery application, it has all the function that you already seen in non-foods, like specialty store, department store, and so on, where they have what they call omni-channel and so on. We are provide this for the grocery, but with a grocery flavor. Let me give you an example. You could call a grocery store and tell them, I want this. They'll package this and you picking it up. Our software will handle that immediately when you install it. So that's where we're focusing. We actually try to get the grocery industry to the level or where the non-food industry is. Because right now in the industry, there's absolutely nothing for grocery store. Even people like Walmart, yes, you can order online, pick up in the store. It's a very painful experience. I don't know if you've ever done it. And that's limitation on the software. The reason we also capable to do this innovation software to release that to the market, we don't have a lot of legacy to worry about.
Okay.
Our competition has a lot of legacy they got to worry about. So
right, legacy is a challenge, and a lot of retailers are still running on legacy. So the fact that you can actually integrate with other hardware, other systems, I think it's definitely an advantage.
Yeah, and also the offering we have is that you can run our software in what we call a thin client, which could be a POS that's 20 years old because we don't need a lot of power. It moves to the cloud. Or if you have a fat client that's the fully loaded POS, we obviously can run on it. That's the reason why we don't care which hardware we're running, and that's very powerful to a retailer because a retailer wants to sweat their asset for years and years. They don't like to buy new equipment. The other thing we're offering our software, either you pay the license up front or in subscription. So you have a model you can select. So you can go to a CapEx or OpEx model.
So you're entering the SaaS business
with all our software.
Okay, that's pretty good. I think that's really becoming a lot more popular, especially with probably smaller companies, retailers.
That's correct. Also, the other thing we have, and you'll see, you asked me a little bit about the future of retailer. The future of retailer, and I predicted, maybe not 5 years, certainly in 10 years, there will not be a POS anymore. And in fact, we have a concept on the floor. You walk to the store with your own device, a smartphone, being iPhone or Android or iOS. You scan the item as you put them in the carts. You go out, there's a sign that tells you where the Fujitsu sign is there, tells you if you cross this line, all merchandise must have to pay. You pay either debit or credit, but what the differentiated we have, you also can pay cash. We have a cash module with a cash box where they can insert cash. That's really the future of retail in the store, the brick and mortar. You'll see less and less POS, more and more automation for the for checkout, for a customer to check themselves out, and then more associate to help out the customer industry.
Okay, that's very interesting. So that's like hypothetically we can call that the Fujitsu Go, like the Amazon Go?
Yeah, you could. Although the Amazon Go, and I wrote a paper on this, while it's a fantastic idea, there's a lot of holes. Which I realize it, but I think also it was more a typical Amazon PR before Thanksgiving, put that out there. They did it 3 years ago, I think, with the drone, if you remember.
Right.
That's how we're going to deliver with drone.
Right.
And that was just a PR. There's nothing happening. Now they're going to have the warehouse in the balloon, right? Again, it's PR. Their names get in the press.
You got to give it to them for the marketing, yeah.
Hey, it's kind of like a presidential.
Well, a lot of these things also. Right, but a lot of things also are, really early right now. So you introduce an idea, and then it actually gets the conversation started. So they are actually, I think, in one way, I give them credit for throwing these things out and releasing them, and seeing and putting that investment into that. So they invested. I mean, they actually have a store. So going back to the checkout. So that checkout process seems to be the first thing that's going to be automated, fully automated in the retail store.
But it has to go, and I'll tell you why. It is really crazy that for years, when we introduced automation, POS and so on, the first time in a grocery store or even a department store that you're going to talk to the customer is when you check out. That's ridiculous. Right. You need to talk to the customer before they're gonna go check out,
right.
And that's where you got to shift the paradigm, because waiting. I mean, you want to assist the customer. You want to know the customer. Mr. Janssens is coming to the store I pick it up because it's got royalty, got an RFID. I can download from headquarters all the information what he bought it, because otherwise it'd be too much at the store level. But I know it's coming. He's one of my best customers. I'll make sure I'll go see if he's there, what his needs are. So you can have that conversation when you start coming in the store, not when you leave the store.
Right.
So that's crazy when you think about that. So that's a big shift that needs to happen.
Right.
Brick and mortar will be there. They're not going to disappear. Amazon eventually will cap out on market share. They're growing now. They're probably still going to grow and take about 30% of the retail. But I think they're going to plateau at one point because the brick and mortar will still stay. And then what the retailer need to do is really enhancing the shopping experience. They have to have the same, if you buy online, buy in the store, you got to have the same user interface. It's like watching TV, and then you got another TV and you watch something that's not the same picture than the other. It's ridiculous.
Right.
That's what happens. So we got to enhance the shopping experience. And then one area that I see in the future happening actually very quickly is tracking the item that you buy. And that is really for recall, especially for recall.
Tracking it in the store?
In the store.
Okay.
They'll be tracking now. You have a loyalty. Most of the retailers know who you are now. They won't tell you, but they know who you are. So they know Mr. Janssens bought 10 bottles of water. It's contaminated. Immediately we can contact him because we have traceability on this item. You will see that happening very quickly.
Okay.
There's a big push from that, not only from the government, and certainly in Europe, they want to track the items.
So that's using pretty much RFID?
RFID, mostly RFID, or tracking the order by item when you buy them. You know that you bought them, and if there's a recall, you can take it back. The reason you can do this more, you got a lot more powerful. You can put all this in the cloud and very quickly notify the people. So that's the future. You will see that very quickly.
Okay. So the way that the product, as it's going out of the store, as you were explaining, is detected is also through RFID, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So one way or another with RFID, the store owner is going to know what is leaving and who's leaving with it.
Correct.
And then they can track it.
Now the issue with RFID, they're still the same as they were 10 years ago. RFID on here doesn't work as liquid and doesn't go to metal. So there's an issue there. But you still can track, every transaction, every item that the person bought. So that's one area. In another area you will see probably within 3 years, and be probably all the big chain, and I'm talking tier 1, more than 5 billion revenue a year, they will not handle cash anymore in the store.
Wow.
Cash will be gone. And what I mean by that, and you can see it's also in our booths, customer will still go to a checkout rate, and when it's time to pay, they don't give the money to the cashier. They'll put in a box, a cash box. That's what we call it. The reason for that is that's the first phase. The second phase, we as a supplier won't even sell these boxes to the retailer. We will sell it to the bank. But the bank will own these boxes, and therefore, as soon as the money is in there, it's actually in the retail account, and they will take care of picking up the money, because banks are looking for getting back their services. They gave away the pickup of the money to a private company. They want to take that back,
right,
because they're scared to death of the fintech.
Right.
So they got to create more value, and you will see that happening. It's happening already a little bit in Europe. We have a pilot, I can't tell you the name of a very big retailer, where they're going to transform the entire front end using cash box, and they will not handle cash anymore, meaning no cashier. A cashier takes about 45 minutes a day to get the float and then the pickup and then count the money. You can remove that. The ROI of putting a cash box versus a cash drawer is less than 9 months. Retailer will jump on it.
Okay, so that's interesting, because the other concept is also moving towards the cashless society.
That won't happen.
That won't happen as quickly, but eventually, you think it'll happen?
Well, let's see what happened in India, right?
Right. India is going, but I mean, they made a really drastic move, and there is a lot of pain associated with it.
But even if you look at America, I won't even look in Europe, which I'm from over there. But even in America, there's a certain segment of the population that don't even, the South American folks don't even go to a bank. They don't trust them. They pay cash for everything. So that's going to be taken.
It's going to take a long time. Okay, so thank you so much. One more question before I let you go. Mr. Janssens is going to different retail stores. If the retail store is not going to be staffed with people that are handling the cash and things like that, and you're going to probably go to a store and you're going to say by your voice, I want this and I want that, and it's going to be delivered to you. Why are you going to go to the retail store in the future if everything can be brought to you? Are you just like making that extra step, or is there other things that actually you're going to get out of going to the store?
Well, it depends again on the segment, right? If you talk department store or soft goods, hard goods, you can buy on the web, it's already. I agree with you that more and more it's going to be bought there. Grocery is a different story. People like to touch, like to smell. I don't see, I'm based in Atlanta, so I was in the 90s in the middle of this web van. And web van, the reason it failed, very quickly, customer understood, you know what, I'm going to order the 50-pound dog food, the 12 case, a beer case, all the heavy items. And, but the fresh food, meat, vegetable, they still like to see and touch. Also, it can work in America, but it's going to be more difficult. In Europe, there's more adoption for delivery grocery. And they do, I don't know if you know how they do it, Tesco, the Sainsbury, you got to book a certain time when they pick it up. But you will still see certainly in the grocery industry where folks will go to the store.
Okay.
But I can see the specialty store and so on really diminish.
I say that I actually have a business myself that focuses on the human side of retail. And I think the human aspect is not going to go away, but it's going to change. It's not going to be the same. And that's probably one of the bigger changes that we're also going to see.
No, you're right. As a matter of fact, I have two kids. One works for Fujitsu, is actually in the booth. He's 31, and the other one's 27. I don't think they've been in a store in 15 years. I tell you so.
Unless it's a really hip store that maybe like a Tesla store. No, really? Okay.
Yeah, but they still go to a grocery store.
Okay.
But anything that is non-food, they're down the way.
Well, those are really deep things to think about.
All right. I know I think about it every day.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Thanks.